Hey, Calm Your Mental family. Coming through with this installment of Calm on this chilly Sunday morning. I'm not sure what time it is where you are, but I am sending love and sending calm first and foremost. Man, it's the end of a week, the beginning of another. Just for reference, it is February 2nd, 2025. And I'm somewhere here on the West Coast. Still chilling in my bed. I've just come off a 3-day work trip, and man, I had to fight my way through that last day of it. I hadn't slept very well the days prior to the trip, and then it just seemed like the whole trip I couldn't get a good nap, a good few hours of rest. It was just, man, it was a struggle. It was a struggle to get through. But I got through it. And so now I'm here with a little bit on my mind. And, just navigating my week. I wanted to talk about flexibility, as I had to kind of apply that with my week, and actually every week. Flexibility is a big deal for me, being a flight attendant. Being able to navigate just the struggle of cancellations, delays, mechanical issues that come up, and just, intentionally wanting to flow from one flight to the next as we are assigned to do, but having to deal with all of these interruptions and distractions, and how draining that is, just being pulled on per se, instead of just being able to do your job. And so, flexibility has come up in my spirit to talk with you guys about. And actually, I had a really good session a few days ago. I decided to get up and do some qigong and just move my body and dance a bit. And, I felt so good. It felt so good, and it had me thinking about how beautiful flexibility is when it pertains to the body, being able to just move in different ways and bend and stretch. It felt so good in my body to not be rigid, to not be stuck in one position, to not be stiff, to be able to sway my body and move it in different directions, up, down, back and forth, to put a little swivel in my hips and just let my body flow the way it felt like flowing. And it made me think of just life and how much smoother things go with a little bit of flexibility. I mean, just a little bit of flexibility helps things flow better. Can you imagine having a lot of flexibility? Whether that's in your mind or in your decision making, in your plans, in your goals. Sure, it's fine to have an idea or an intended outcome. That's a beautiful thing. It's good to have something solid to base whatever your goals are or your direction is, to go off of. But when you allow a little bit of flexibility, you allow different possibilities to be included. And you allow a little bit, at least, of spontaneity to occur when there's flexibility. And I think that's beautiful. I mean, that's the color that comes in. I feel like flexibility is the color that beautifies our rigidness, our stiffness. So yeah, we want to be thankful for structure, the structure we have. Again, let's think about the body, the bones that don't break or that are not supposed to, the bones that don't bend. They're the structure. But if we had all structure and nowhere to bend, the likelihood of a break is higher. So thank God for those tendons and those joints in between the structures that help us move, that help us navigate, that help us survive the days that are a little stormy, a little windy. Let's think about the trees and how if they had no bend to them, branches, limbs, they'd break. Have you ever watched a tree sway in the wind? Amazing how it keeps itself upright in a storm. The more give it has to it, the more it's able to survive the storm, survive the wind. And that happens when it goes with the flow. And so when I think about my days of traveling and all the things that come up, the easiest days for me are the ones where I'm not so set on how things have to go. And I give myself, my mind, I tell myself, you know what? Yeah, it's supposed to go like this. We're supposed to go here and there, but things could change. And I am just giving the space, the room for change in my mind to be there so that I'm not upset, I'm not disappointed, and also so that hopefully I can be surprised with something that goes better than expected. There's nothing wrong with having expectations, but flexibility allows for us to be surprised. It allows for new possibilities. And it allows for us to be okay if things don't go our way. I remember there was a time when I was a caregiver, and I was caregiving for this lovely, lovely couple. And initially when I went into it, there was some mention about one of the clients being very just not nice. And, at first I was very nervous about going into that situation, knowing this about this person. And it wasn't just she wasn't nice, but she had a preference, and that she had maybe unfavorable ideas about someone of my race, right? Or people of my race. And so I was very nervous about walking into that situation and not really sure if I could. And so I sat on it a few days and, went through all the reasons I thought, it wasn't a good idea to go into what could be a hostile situation. But eventually I decided to try anyways. And what I told myself going into it was that I was going to set aside everything I was anticipating to happen. And I was going to go into it as myself and see for myself. And what ended up happening is initially it was a little rigid, it was a little icy, it was a little weird. But every day I would just return with a fresh mind of I'm just going to go into this today and be myself. And I ended up winning that woman client over. I ended up being one of her closest allies and also like a bestie of hers. As an elderly woman, I was her favorite. And we had almost like a Laverne and Shirley type relationship. So much so that her sons were very pleased and shocked because even they didn't have such a close relationship with her. And so I say all that to say, when you allow flow, when you allow flexibility, when you're not fixed on how certain things are supposed to be or should happen, you allow new possibilities. And that's a choice. So this love note is a reminder to you to choose flexibility, to allow yourself to embrace flow. If you think about any system on earth where flow is preferable, those systems work better when there's flexibility and flow. Our bodies work better when there's flow. Our bank accounts work better when there's flow. Our health is better when there's flow. Our minds work better when there's flow. Everything works better when there's flow. Flexibility is possibility. All right, y'all. I'm going to flow my butt back to sleep. But I hope this was helpful to some of you. And if it was, pass it along. And enjoy your Sunday or whatever day it is that you're listening to this, okay? That's all I have for now. Until next time.